I'm going to tell a story about my dad, a story I've told many times before, a story about my awakening, how I got here, how I teach, how I'm a spiritual teacher, blah, 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 all the good stuff. You would like it. It's a good story. It makes me feel good every time I get to tell it. But when I started thinking about self-love, this idea, cultivating love, which is also compassion, non-judgment, self-awareness, I started to feel like, you know what, this is some gritty stuff. Love is super gritty. Love in its rawest, purest, most expressed form, not so pretty. And so I thought, all right, Dad, I'm going to park you for a second. That's where my daddy stuff comes in. And I thought, it's easy to get up and talk about our wounds. It's important that we talk about our wounds. There's a lot of triumph in our traumas, and I'm no different. But where is the space to talk about the men and the women who have actually given you the foundation to love yourself more fiercely? And that's where my mama comes in. So I'm going to talk about my mom. I've never talked about my mom for no other reason than she's just my mama. And she's always there loving me fiercely. And there's nothing wrong in that. There was no trauma. There were no wounds. My mom has always been like this, like, bam, anchor. Anyone have mamas like that? Mama bears, matriarchs of the family? Yeah, they're strong women. That was my mom, always there. There were 2 rules in my house growing up. The first was you love others as you wish to be loved, and you have to follow your bliss. Now, I know there are worse rules to have to live with, but those were mine. So that was my mom, holding that space, holding back all that stuff, generational, abandonment, trauma, fear, wounds, her generational stuff, holding it back so we could go fly. That was it, go fly, go follow your bliss. So I'm a huge fan of Oprah and Super Soul Sunday, no surprise, and secret knowledge. And so she had Marianne Williamson on her show long time ago. And I don't remember what happened before or after, but I remember this very poignant thing that she says. And Marianne Williamson says, you know when you've met a woman who's been mothered well. And that hit me in the heart. And I thought, you know what? I'm one of those women. I have been so graciously lucky to be mothered well, with so much intention and purpose behind it. This year, things changed, though. So mom's always there. Mom's always loving. Mom is never not around. So I don't think much about it. It's just mom. Then I get a call from mom about 1.5 years ago. And she does that mom thing. You know, moms, they do that thing. Hey, I have something to tell you. I don't want you to be scared, but like, okay, who's dying and what's going on? Where's mom? Where's dad? Is everyone okay? Totally joking. And she says, I found a lump. Okay, lump. We can handle a lump. And we go into the witty banter, the mother-daughter humor, the self-deprecating humor that makes things that are so awful just a little bit better. And it turned out that that lump was actually a pretty massive tumor. And it turns out that tumor was actually stage 4 breast cancer. And that was it. Suddenly that love that my mom and I have has a timestamp on it. Well, I'm not so good with timestamps. And for the next 9 months, I would watch her deteriorate, stop writing, stop doing art, stop reading. If she wasn't watching TV, which is about the only thing she had the energy to do, then she was in bed. And she was in bed for about 9 months. Now, see, I was following my bliss. That's what she told me to do. So here, ironically, in the best year of my career, by day, I'm running programs and I'm hosting retreats and I'm traveling to the most beautiful places in the world and I'm doing this. And on the weekends, I'm going home and I'm vacuuming my parents' house and cleaning and doing dishes and taking care of something that you cannot take care of. My mom was very, very sick. So we get about 9 months in and I've hit my breaking point. I feel pretty bad about that because who feels bad when someone else has cancer? And I decided to blow off some steam. Totally normal thing to do. So I go with my sister-in-law. I know I can count on her for blowing off some steam. And we have 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then maybe 3.5 glasses of wine. And I blow off all the steam. I'm feeling much better. I say all the things I'm not supposed to say. And I go home. I'm thinking everyone will be in bed because no child, no matter how old you are, wants to go back to her parents' house wasted. And they're all awake. And I stumble in, and they're awake. My mom's in bed, but she's awake. So I climb in bed with mom, and that's it. I lose it. And then I cry, and I cry, and I say all the things I don't know how to say. I'm sorry you're sick. I hate this. I want to love every aspect of you, including your cancer, and I can't. I really hate your cancer. And I hate that it might take you from me, and I'm really selfishly going to tell you that I'm not okay with that. And she rubs my back, and she says, it's going to be fine. We're going to figure it out. She mothers me. In that moment, my mom, sick, stage 4 cancer, in bed, very, very, very sick, mothers me. And I let it all go, and I realized there's nothing to do but show up and be her daughter. So I stumble out, and like any good father, he makes me a bowl of pasta for his very wasted daughter. And I stumble into the living room, and I am just ready for this night to be over. And my mom comes in, and she's smiling. And my brother, who's also visiting, who is getting a real kick out of his little sister and everything that is transcribing. And he looks at her and says, what shifted? Something's different. And she looks back and says, I got to mother just now. I got to be the mama. And I realize her purpose and my purpose are not that different. Our entire purpose is to love more. And that in her loving me, she was healing herself. And that in my receiving her love, I was helping her heal. And it shifted something for us. So fast forward a few months, we get to Christmas. What do you give someone for Christmas who's dying of cancer? Seems like a bit of a joke, but no material object has any purpose in that point. And I remember there's these letters upstairs that my mother and my father's mother used to write to each other long time ago, pre-email, back in the 70s when that's what you did, you wrote letters. So they're very basic things about like roast chicken and kids' art programs, and they're not something special, but we have them. Her handwriting, my grandmother's handwriting. And I realized there are these letters between my mother and my father's mother, these two women who both had to do this in their life to keep all the stuff that had happened to them back here. So they could usher in these children who could do this, who could fly and soar and seek and follow their bliss. And I go to my mom and I tell her, we're going to write letters. There's something inside of you that I need access to that I've never heard before. I need to know how you do this resolve you have, this resiliency, this strength. I want access to that. Will you tell me that? So we've been writing letters. We're about 3 months in, and there's so much truth in these letters. She is opening her heart, and I'm realizing she wasn't just a mom who loved. She was a woman who had a very deep purpose to love fiercely and to mother well. She's doing very well, by the way. She's healing. She's on a new treatment. Things are going swimmingly. No one loves cancer. No one loves chemo, except for my mom. Apparently, chemo is the best thing that's ever happened to her. It's the strangest thing, no symptoms, no side effects. I've never seen anything like it, and I'm so grateful because she's coming back, but we are totally different. There's this new honesty, there's this new awareness, there's this new trust between me and her. I'm her daughter. I'm here to fly. So I think about this time we're in today, and we need some love. We need it bad. We need some love. We need some care. We need some nurturement. Because wouldn't it be incredible if this were a world that were mothered well? Thank you.